Crafters. Today I have another 1 stamp 5 cards for you, and today I'm going to be using this Aladdin set, and this is called Clear Cactus. So Aladdin is a French company and they make really nice stamps. I have a few of their sets and I think they're really underestimated in the stamping world. So anyway, for my first card I'm going to be using some Canson XL watercolor paper, and I'm just going to be laying out all of my stamps on my MISTI, and I put the paper in the middle of the MISTI so I could kind of put some of the stamps, like having them half on, half off the card. And I'm just going to arrange them all. I tried to put them all on, and when I did that I stamped down and I took it up onto the shelf of the MISTI, and then I'm going to stamp that down with some Versamark ink. And yeah, so I'm just doing that. Now that that is done, I'm going to close my MISTI and I'm going to get some embossing powder. I used 4 different colours, and this is the Copper Embossing Powder by Ducrafts. It's a really nice embossing powder, and I think it really went well with these trendy cacti. So once that is done, I'm just going to heat it. And as you can see, I use silver and copper and gold by Ducrafts, and Wow Embossing Powder clear, thin clear, it's very thin clear. And if you saw behind the copper, I burnt my paper bits, so be very careful with your heat gun. And anyway, now I'm going to take my watercolor set. It's pretty clean then, but now it's a disaster. And I'm just going to put water all over that, and you can see the cacti. I probably should use a coloured embossed thing, but I didn't. And then I'm just going to colour down the cacti. It's a very easy process, as it really doesn't go outside the lines with the embossing powder, and it's very easy. They blend very easily as well. So anyway, those are the first 2 cards, and I think they're really nice. So for my second card, I'm just going to be stamping down all of my cacti using different colours of ink, and this is a really fun process. I recommend you watch a television show, or in my case a YouTube video, and you just stamp them all down. And I used a A4 paper, and then you can make 4 card bases when you cut it down. So I tried to fit them in as closely as possible. And once that is done, I'm just going to cut them up with my paper trimmer, and you can see I used 4 different ink colours, and I think it really did turn out well in the end, and it makes for a really easy and really trendy card base. And you can also heat emboss some, but I was just done with heat embossing at that point, so I didn't. And then I added some sentiments, and that's really it. For my next card, I'm just going to arrange some of the cacti onto a card. I think I used 5 in the end along the middle of the card, and then I'm going to be using my trusty watercolor set, and I'm just going to be taking some green, and I'm kind of going to put a bit of a background on. You could have blended it up. I could have blended it out all along the edges, but I just didn't. I wasn't in the mood for work that day, and I just heat set it then, and then I am going to just stick down all of my cacti. The green watercolor background makes it a bit more interesting, so that's why I really did it. And once that is all done, I'm going to stick down a sentiment. This is Happy Birthday from the Altenew Floral Garden set, and it came from the Altenew New Day card kit, and I think it's a really nice card. This is probably my favourite card I made today. I'm using lots of different Memento Dewdrop inks, and I'm just using 1 stamp, but I'm repeating it all over the card panel, and it makes for a really nice and trendy card, but it's also very simple to make, and it takes a matter of seconds to stamp out. So I'm just going to be using the inks so that they don't overlap, so they're not sitting next to each other in the same colour and like this, so there's not light and light together. I thought that would just bring a bit more of interest to the card, which it did in the end. And I also did this with another stamp in the set. For the last card, I really wanted to use up the scrap cacti that I'd stamped out, so I put adhesive onto all of them and I arranged them in a bit of a circle around the middle of the card. And I'm using the bigger ones first, and then I'm going to fill in the rest of the card with the smaller ones. And this was a really easy card to make. but it's also very simple and effective. And then I used the Lawn Fawn Scripty Thanks die, and I cut it off from some gold paper, and I just stuck that down with some multimedia matte. And once I had dried, I just cut that out with my scissors. I cut the border out with my scissors. And that's all for today. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe to my channel. And please click on some of these videos I have linked here. And anyway, bye!